Okay, we've got Trevor from the right-hand side of the plate paired up against Mookie Betts here. Let's do a little analysis of his swing. Let's watch them both one time through. Um, See how they look. Not bad, both cases. Let's see. Let's start with the stance and the load for Trevor. Um, as we know, we don't want robots, so as long as they're staying nice and athletic. Obviously, there's a little bit of differences here. Mookie's a little more upright. Trevor had some success in the past with just maintaining his athleticism and getting a little bit more extra bend in the legs there, bend in the knees, so nothing wrong with that at all. Let's just see what Trevor does here. Not too bad on the overall head and eye movement. You can see that his back knee, back hip for sure are staying inside of that back foot. We always talk about instep pressure, both on our load side and then as we stride forward, landing on the instep pressure of both feet helps us stay inside of our feet and nice and balanced. I like our hand position here. And we can also see a little pullback, scapular pullback, whatever we want to call it, with the right elbow. Hands are roughly at shoulder height. I like that. This is nice and athletic. Let's just watch him go through it a little bit more. Let's see launch position as our front heel lands. So right as his front heel has landed, let's look and see at the position of the knob of the bat. We like to see it facing the catcher's feet range. That will enable us to keep our hands back and keep our power. And then also, if we're fooled by the speed of the pitch, we can still drive the ball the opposite field this way. So I like what I see here. Now let's look at his head position. We want it to be roughly in the center of his feet at this point in time, or slightly back. I have no issues with where it is right now. One of the things that Trevor and I talk about are maintaining the load in the big muscles, which is our hip, butt, hip, down through to our feet to maintain that kinetic chain. So I have no issues with this here. Sometimes he has problems with early hip rotation, but I think the position he's in now will help prevent that. Let's just watch him go through. We are not seeing any kind of elbow or bat drag here. You can tell that by looking at his hand position relative to his elbow. No issues with that whatsoever. He's also working above the baseball. Doesn't mean we're chopping down, but it also doesn't mean that we're losing our barrel angle too early during the load and in the initial phases of the swing. I also like, we just backtrack here just a second. If you see his hands are staying back and then his knee starts to pinch down towards the plate, which helps drive that hip forward. So the lower half is starting to swing as opposed to the upper half starting to swing. And that's all starts with maintaining that load position nicely. Let's go through to contact. Relatively connected here. May have got a little early hip rotation. You could see how his hip is starting to face out that way as he's making contact. I'd rather see that a little more connected. We'll work on that. But all in all, you can see he landed on the instep of his stride foot, nice and balanced here. And then as we take it through to contact, not bad. Exit velocity on the front toss 59. All in all, nice swing. Let's just watch Mookie all the way through. See the comparisons here. You'll see the same thing we talked about in the load position when that front heel lands. He's got his knob facing the catcher's feet. You also see that pullback with the right elbow in this case. He gets a little bit more extension, but I'm good with Trevor's, relatively speaking. We talked about that back knee pinching down towards the plate. You can see that perfectly here, where it's leading the way and the hands are still in that launch position. The longer we can hold that, the more power we're going to create. He's only 5'9", 175 pounds, and hits the ball really far, really hard. So he obviously does some good things mechanically here. You can see hands working above the baseball. This is not a home run. A lot of these slow motion videos are home runs. This one happens just to be a nice line drive back up the middle. I will point out that you can see the position of his chest when he's hitting the baseball, whereas Trevor's was, sorry, wrong direction. Nitpicking a little here, but Trevor's with the early hip rotation slightly is losing a little bit of power because he hasn't yet made contact with the baseball and his hips have already released. Just slightly. Follow Mookie's all the way through. Stays down the line. Palm up as long as he can. Top hand palm up, that is. And then nice head high line drive right back up the middle like we always talk about. All in all, good stuff. I think just a couple of minor things to work on, but from the right-hand side of the plate, we're looking good. Good job, buddy.